Today we are discussing the last topic of this lesson, what you call atoms and nucleus. That is this lesson marked here, or a topic marked here, nuclear fission. The notes also written here, as you see, when a heavy nucleus split into medium mass nuclei by a bombarding particle, huge amount of energy is released. This process is called nuclear fission. Fission means splitting into two. In this case, we are taking a heavy nucleus, just like uranium, thorium, etc., whose mass number must be greater than 230. That means heavy nucleus are taken. Heavy nucleus are most of the time, they are unstable. They can be easily split with the help of a bombarding particle. In this case, the bombarding particle taken is slow speed neutron. As you see, for this, a heavy nucleus A230 are used. The energy released is due to mass defect. In this case, an example is given here. This is U235 and this is added with a neutron. Actually, bombarding means it is added with a neutron. Then the uranium becomes U23692. U23692 is very vulnerable. That will be split very soon. It cannot exist for a long time because this nucleus is very vulnerable. That means it cannot remain as 236 for a long time, but it can remain as this U23692 only for this very small duration of time, 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. Within this time, this will be split into two parts, barium 141 56 and krypton 9236, plus an extra 3 neutrons are produced in this case, and also a large amount of energy, 200 mega electron volt. It is mega electron volt, this electron volt that letters are not seen here. 200 mega electron volt energy is also released in this case. This is a compound nucleus formed. This will exist only for a very small duration, even less than 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. So that the fission process is a very rapid process. Nuclear fission process is a very rapid process. So this is a very simple equation we have seen. We have seen this U235, 92 and a low speed neutron that makes this into, turn this into another compound nucleus, but it's called 23692. That is very unstable. Within a time period of 10 raised to minus 6 seconds, that will be split into two parts. That you have seen already, right? So this process is a very rapid process. This energy form, this is the important thing, a large amount of energy, 200 mega electron volt is formed. This energy initially appears as the kinetic energy of the fission product. Which are the fission products here? This barium and krypton, and also 3 neutrons also there. All these products will take away this energy as their kinetic energy first. Then that will be transferred into energy of the surrounding particles. So surrounding energy, that means that will be now shown as heat produced in the atmosphere. That means atmospheric particles absorb this energy and the temperature of the atmosphere, surrounding atmosphere increases. This is what is called fission reaction. So in fission reaction, you will see that the energy formed is 200 mega electron. This is because of mass defect. Mass defect means this is the parent nucleus. This parent nucleus whose mass is found, mass of the nucleus is found and is kept aside. Then you will find the mass of this barium and also krypton and also 3 neutron separately. Then the added mass of all together 1, 2, 3, and that when compared with the mass of U23692, the mass of 23692 will be greater than the total sum of the masses of 1, 2, 3. That means barium, krypton and 3 neutron. That means a mass defect is there. There is a slight less mass you will find. That means a slight decrease in the mass you will find. That mass is directly converted into energy. That means according to Einstein's energy relation, mass energy equivalence E is equal to mc square. The amount of mass defect took place, that will be directly converted into energy. In one fission reaction, you will see that 200 mega electron volt energy is produced. And also it's very important, you have to see initially this energy is taken away by the fission products. You see the fission products, barium, krypton, 3 neutrons, etc. All this will take this energy as their kinetic energies. Later on, this kinetic energy will be transferred to the particles of the atmosphere. Hence, the internal energy of the atmosphere increases, and hence the temperature of the atmosphere also increases. Fission products, the defect of fission is that the fission products are also radioactive. Most of the time, fission products are also radioactive because they can emit beta particles. Beta particle can penetrate into living tissues, and that can damage the tissues of living organisms. So that is the only defect of this fission products. All fission products, wherever you come across fission products and you study, you will see that the fission products are always radioactive. That is harmful. The advantage of fission is that the energy released can be controlled. Understand? Energy released by fission reaction can be controlled and can be used for useful purposes. So it is used in nuclear power stations. In our country also so many nuclear power stations are there. In all these nuclear power stations we use this fission process only for the production of energy. Heat energy produced can be converted into electrical energy. Now what do you see? This is a very important topic, that is marked a nuclear chain reaction. Once the fission is started, it continues till all the atoms of the block are disintegrated. Disintegrated means split into this krypton and right? Am I correct? Into its products. So till all the atoms of the block are disintegrated. This is called a chain reaction. You have seen that in the splitting of a uranium atom, barium and krypton is produced. Along with that, 3 extra neutrons also produced. This 3 extra neutrons produced will hit with another 3 fresh atoms and its nucleus. Again the splitting reaction takes place. That is shown here. In this case, the number of neutrons emitted in the fission should be greater than the incident ones. Incident one is only 1 neutron we have used. When 1 neutron is hit with only one what is called a nucleus of a heavy atom like uranium, 3 extra neutrons are produced. Right? These 3 extra neutrons again will go and interact with 3 more atoms as shown in the figure. See here, initially we are using only 1 neutron and 3 neutrons are produced extra. That will go and hit with 3 more and 9 neutrons are produced. These 9 neutrons will interact with 9 fresh atoms of or nucleus of uranium, and like this it goes on till the entire atoms of the block are finished. This is called nuclear chain reaction. In every nuclear chain reaction, you understand that an amount of energy, a large amount of energy of about 200 mega electron volt is produced. So many nuclear disintegration altogether takes place as shown in the chain reaction. Large amount of energy is produced. That is quite devastating. So under the above conditions, the fission neutrons keep on increasing and maintain the chain reaction. This is what is called sustained chain reaction. So what is the condition for sustained chain reaction? For sustained chain reaction, the number of neutrons produced in a fission reaction must be always greater than the initial number of neutrons we have used for the first time, right? So there is a term called neutron multiplying factor K. So this is also very important factor. What is K? To explain nuclear chain reaction. To explain chain reaction, this term called neutron multiplying factor is very important. Neutron multiplication factor K is equal to rate of production of neutrons divided by rate of loss of neutron. In certain conditions, we can reduce the number of neutrons which are active, which are ready for hit with other fresh nuclei. That can be reduced. Understand? If it is kept as it is, then the chain reaction will be sustained. That means the reaction will end up to when the entire nucleus will be totally and completely finished due to fission reaction. So this rate of production of neutrons divided by rate of loss of neutron. This is what is called K. Am I correct? Okay. For the chain reaction to be self-sustained, that means that will be always continued automatically, the value of K must be always greater than 1. If K is greater than 1, naturally the reaction will be chain reaction. K is also sometimes called reproduction factor, neutron reproduction factor, or it is called neutron multiplying factor. So reproduction factor and also what you call neutron multiplying factor, both are same. If K is less than 1, then that is controlled fission reaction. In controlled fission reaction, the energy produced can be controlled and can be used for purposes, right? If the chain reaction are slow and the energy produced is controlled, then it is called controlled chain reaction. An apparatus in which controlled chain reaction takes place is called nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactor is also explained in the book. In all textbooks it is given there. So many parts are there in that, in which we can control the number of neutron produced in every nuclear reaction, the nuclear splitting reaction. You know that extra number of neutron produced can be controlled, thereby the energy produced can be controlled. So since the energy produced can be controlled, means that energy produced can be used for useful purposes, right? This is what is called nuclear fission reaction. Next is nuclear fusion. The process of combining two lighter nuclei to form a heavy nucleus with the release of a huge amount of energy due to mass defect is called nuclear fusion. Fusion means combining two lighter nucleus into one, a heavier one. In that case also you will find there will be some mass defect. For example, this is the example given here. This is deuterium. H21 gives rise to H31 plus this is a proton. Am I correct? H11 is a proton, right? These two masses when you calculate, and these two mass also you calculate, then the sum of the mass of H21 plus H21 will be always greater than H31 plus H11. H11 means proton, right? Okay. This is what? In that case, a large amount of energy, 4.0 mega electron volt is also produced. So this is what is called fusion reaction. So this is a proton fusion reaction, because in this case a proton is produced, right? So accordingly, as the product formed only, the reaction is named. This reaction is named as proton fusion reaction. So because in this case a proton is produced as a product, and also you see 4.0 mega electron volt energy is also produced. Now this tritium formed, that will again combine with another deuterium, and a helium nucleus is the result. Am I correct? We are getting a helium nucleus plus one neutron. This is a neutron fusion reaction. This is a proton nuclear fusion. In this case, you see 17.6 mega electron volt energy is also produced. So in a nutshell, we can say that. In a nutshell, we can say that most of the time, what you see, two deuterium atoms combined to form a helium also we can speak. Yeah. Very clearly, when you have to say about this one, three deuterium atoms are combined to form a helium nucleus, and with a large amount of energy of about 17.6 mega electron volt plus 4.0 mega electron volt is equal to about 21.6 mega electron volt energy is produced. right? This is actually 2 deuterium. 2 deuteriums, so directly we can say 2He, 2He4 2. But actually 3 deuterium atoms are combined to form a helium nucleus, and with that the amount of energy created is equal to about 17.6 plus 4 is equal to 21.6 mega electron volt energy is produced. It means 3 deuterium nuclei fuse together to form a helium He4 with a release of 21.6 mega electron volt. This energy appears as the kinetic energy of proton and neutron. Proton and neutron, in the whole condition we see the product formed, that means that is proton and neutron, it is given here, right? Proton and neutron. From the above discussion, it is seen that in a single fission reaction, how much energy created? 200 mega electron volt energy created. While in a single fusion reaction, the total energy created is 21.6 mega electron volt only. But don't think it otherwise that fusion reaction is a weak source of energy. Fusion reaction is not a weak source of energy. When we compare fission and fusion, fusion source of energy is very much greater than that of fission source of energy. That can be that can be explained. That means because if you take the same amount of fission and fusion materials, the number of atoms in fusion material will be so much greater than that in the fission material, because atom of hydrogen is very, very small. So when 1 gram of what is called hydrogen when you take, and also 1 gram of uranium when you take. Uranium means for fission purpose we take a heavy nuclei of like uranium. So when you compare the number of atoms present in these 1 grams, the number of atoms present in hydrogen will be very, very, very much greater than the number of atoms present in 1 gram of heavy material. Heavy material is just like uranium, thorium, plutonium, etc. Right? That is why we say that the fusion reaction is much stronger than fission source of energy, because the energy produced in fusion is much greater. Because material, same amount of material when you take, the number of atoms present in fusion material is very, very much greater than that of the number of atoms present in fission material. Right? So in fission, we take a heavy nucleus A greater than 230, but in fusion, we take nucleus A less than 30, right? They are lighter nucleus are combined to form a bigger nucleus, then due to mass defect, a large amount of energy is produced, that is called a fusion reaction. So fusion reaction, some examples of fusion reaction is also shown here. Here this is a gamma fusion reaction, because gamma is produced here. The gamma particle, gamma radiations are produced here, right? A proton plus neutron gives rise to a deuterium nucleus plus a gamma plus 2.22 mega electron volt. This is it to deuterium. To deuterium when combined to form a tritium, a neutron is produced. That is, this is a neutron fusion reaction plus 3.27 mega electron volt. 2 proton combined to form a deuterium plus a positron. This is positron. E01 is positron. This is anti-electrons, it is called. Anti-electrons. They are electrons, but the charge is positive. Right? Electrons are having charge negative. Plus 0.42 mega electron volts. So this is a positron fusion reaction. This is a neutron fusion reaction. This is a gamma fusion reaction. For fusion reaction to occur, a large amount of heat is required, because you see, hydrogen atoms of the deuterium means the proton and protons, that's 2 positive charges, deuterium, right? Deuterium means a hydrogen atom out of which the electrons are removed, right? Isotope of hydrogen, deuterium. when electrons are removed, two nucleus, they are positive in nature because deuterium contains one positive charge and one neutron, a proton and a neutron. Actually, deuterium is positive. This positive and positive cannot combine together because there will be repulsive force. What repulsive force? Electrostatic repulsive force. They have to combine together means the kinetic energy of these two nucleus must be very, very high. So, when we give very high kinetic energy to deuterium, they will move with very high speed and hit with each other and can combine together. So, in that condition, we have to create such a temperature condition as we see in the case of sun. In the sun, these deuterium atoms are at very high temperature conditions, so they can move with very high speeds and can combine together, and fusion reactions are made possible. So, for this actually what is happening is just like on the surface of sun, we have to create, if we can create such a very high temperature of about 10 raised to 8 Kelvin, then only fusion reactions can be made possible, right? So, it is given for fusion reaction to occur, a large amount of heat is required, that is approximately equal to 10 raised to 8 Kelvin. Hence, fusion reaction is also sometimes called as thermonuclear reactions. Fusion reaction are called thermonuclear reactions, or this fusion bomb we make this thermonuclear bombs we can say. Hydrogen bomb is a thermonuclear bomb. Why? Hydrogen bomb cannot be operated at normal temperature conditions. For that we have to create a temperature at about 10 raised to 8 Kelvin. That is why hydrogen bomb is the combination of two bombs. So, at the mouth of the hydrogen bomb, what is actually done is a fission bomb is kept. Fission bomb is first excited, that when works, a large amount of heat is produced, that is approximately equal to 10 raised to 8 Kelvin. That will enable the fusion bomb to activate. This is actually happening. It is given here, a hydrogen bomb is a thermonuclear bomb. So, that is a combination of a fission bomb and a hydrogen bomb. The temperature produced by the fission bomb, that means atom bomb. Fission bomb is sometimes also called as atom bomb, which is approximately equal to 10 raised to 8 approximately 10 raised to 8 Kelvin, and is used to cause fission process. So, in the fission process, as the material contains large number of atoms, every fusion reaction will create about a 21.6 mega electron volt energy, and the number of atoms are much more than the large amount of energy is produced. Actually, the amount of energy produced in fission, as it is very high, no apparatus can hold it, therefore we have no fusion reactors in nature, right? So, we have no country in the world could produce so far fusion reactors, right? This is the lesson about. So, that is why the fusion bombs, means hydrogen bombs, are till now used for destructive purposes. This is the class today about, and tomorrow we will come with a new lesson, what is called electronics. That means semiconductors and electronic devices. Thank you very much.